kiss for you.
Yo, what's up guys, it's Logic Looks, and today I'm bringing you a video which is actually quite interesting. I literally figured this out. I don't think anyone else has noticed this, but it's pretty creepy. It's basically NBA 2K17 My Team conspiracy theory, and it's about these collector levels right here and the rewards you get from them. Now, I'm going to be talking about the players that you get from them and what each player means and why it seems kind of creepy that 2K would do this subliminally. So as I was saying, what all of these players, or most of them at least, have in common is that they've done something controversial or something bad in their NBA careers outside of the NBA or sometimes inside. So I'm just going to be going through each one of the players and what they've done, and I'll let you guys enjoy the story, and yeah, let's get right into it. So starting with Jay Williams, the first card you get when you do these collector levels, basically, Jay Williams, he was an NBA star, and he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for fatally shooting a hired limo driver in 2002, which was pretty bad if you ask me. And he got sentenced to only 18 months for shooting somebody, which I don't know if that's fair, but you know, whatever. I mean, that's up to the judge in the court or whatever. But yeah, so basically, Jay Williams pretty much shot a man, and there's basically, he said, he quoted, "There's not a day I wake up and that I don't feel sorry for what I did to Mr. Christoph, and that I put you through this, whatever." Right? So I feel bad for the guy, the limo driver, and that's what Jay Williams did, and that was the one bad thing he did. He also got charged with drunken driving a couple times when he crashed his SUV in Manhattan. He also got charged a bunch of times with like DUIs and all that stuff, and he got tased in a hotel because he was like doing some weird stuff. I don't even know what. But yes, Jay Williams was very controversial. And let's move on to the next one. So the next one is Robert Horry, and although he wasn't the one who did it, it was his game, and I think this card is based on the game that he had back then. It was Game 6 of the 2002 Western Conference Finals when the Lakers were playing the Kings, and the Lakers did end up winning the series, but everyone remembers this series as the most rigged games in NBA history. And that's facts, because I saw some videos, and trust me, they look rigged as hell. The Kings were flat out better. They had Chris Webber, which was playing just as well as Shaq at the time. This was basically where the Laker dynasty should have organically ended. But basically, Robert Horry hit a miracle three-pointer. If you guys remember, I probably put it on screen right now. And that was travesty of Game 6, because Game 6 was all pushing. The Lakers were pretty much getting all these calls for no reason. And in Game 7, the Lakers alone shot 27 free throws to Sacramento's 9 free throws. The referee was a convicted felon, freaking Tim Donaghy or whatever, and he literally came out and claimed that the game was rigged multiple times. And honestly, it made sense for the game to be rigged, because why would the NBA Finals, it wouldn't be a good NBA Finals if it was Sacramento and New Jersey, because New Jersey was in the finals back then. You know, Lakers are a big market team, so that's why I think Robert Horry's on this list, although he might have not been the one that committed the crime or committed the riggery, whatever you want to say, I don't even know. He was one of them, so he was on that team, so makes sense. Let's move on to the next one. So the next player is Quentin Richardson. He didn't really do much, but he traveled teams from, like, I swear every 2 years this guy switched teams. He was always asking for trades, getting traded. You know, he just had a dramatic career, I guess you would say, the least. So, yeah, we're just going to move on to the next one, which is Latrell Sprewell. Now, where do you even get started with Latrell Sprewell? This guy was straight up one of the dirtiest players, according to his teammates. And he was sick. Apparently, he was a sick basketball player. He was good and everything. He could have been the next star, right? He could have been the next best player, right? But this guy got caught in a lot of things. So as I was saying there, Latrell Sprewell was one of the dirtiest NBA players. Like, he was a good player, hands down, but he he couldn't get it together, you know. He was a 4-time All-Star. He played 13 NBA seasons, but he just doesn't care about stuff. I swear, he didn't like practicing. Yes, you could compare him to AI, but AI, he didn't say that. People twisted up his words, and I hate when people say that. But Latrell Sprewell, basically, he made over $100 million in his NBA career, throughout his NBA career, and now he has no house and he has no family. He literally, he was a first-round pick, 24th player to be selected. He played for the Warriors. He set records, made the All-Star team, led Golden State to the playoffs, but he had a bad temper. And in 1993, he fought with teammate Byron Houston, and in 1995, after a rumble with Jerome Kersey, he famously returned to practice with a 2x4 and threatened to get a gun. This guy was actually crazy, bro. Nobody wanted him, no team wanted him, but then some bad teams would pick him up because he was a great player, right? But he can't do anything, right? He basically made over $100 million, and today reports say that he has around $50,000 and lives in a modest rental house. So that's why you don't fuck around in the NBA, man. You do you. You don't do shit. Alright, that's pretty much the two serial, and that follows RQ. Let's move on to the next one. Moving on to the next one. This guy is James Edwards, and this guy was a tank, bro. This guy was called a bad boy because this guy always got into fights. He slapped people, he fought people, he punched people, he squared up to people. And he was caught in a drug investigation in 1987, which is pretty bad. I mean, he was literally called, him and a couple of his teammates were called the bad boys because these guys fought a lot and did all that stuff. But, you know, it's not that bad. He's not the worst one on this list. But let's just move on to the next one. Next player is Charles Oakley. And this guy is pretty crazy, man. This guy pretty much, if you guys remember, this year he got into like some fight at Madison Square Garden and he got arrested for it. And he got banned from Madison Square Garden, but I think he got like reamped or whatever. Like he got brought back, so it didn't really matter. But then what's it called? Back then, I think he did go like bankrupt or something. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. And then he like pretty much it. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. This guy just got dragged out of the freaking game. Let's move on to the next one. The next guy, or the next player on this list, is Dennis Rodman. Now, this guy, I mean, where do I start, right? Like, this guy has been into so much, like, drama. He always, like, not a lot of people like him, you know? Unless you're on his team, he's that guy that you don't like, right? Like, I don't know. Like, that's what he is. This guy, pretty much, he took trips to North Korea, and he hung out with Kim Jong-un. Like, what the fuck? This man tripping, bro. This guy was hanging out with Kim Jong-un. He's, like, what? Like, that's what I'm saying, you know? Like, it's weird, right? That's what I'm saying. I don't know why this guy was hanging out with Kim Jong-un. But, yeah. So, basically, not a lot of people like this guy. He always got into, like, fights. He was hanging out with Kim Jong-un, which is like, what the fuck are you doing, buddy? And yeah, basically not a lot of people liked him, so he's pretty controversial too, because there wasn't a player like Dennis Rodman that people hated as much. So let's move on to the next one. The next player is Anton Walker, and although this guy was great at the start of his career and throughout most of his career, Anton Walker, after his NBA career ended, let's just say this guy ended up blowing, I think, I don't know how many millions, but it was somewhere in the 100 million, and he lost it all. He had a 12-year NBA career, 3-time All-Star, he won an NBA championship, he made $108 million. And this man lost it all. He went bankrupt just like that. I don't know how, but this guy was just spending stupid things, bro. Why would you need like 5 cars? Come on. Like, that's what doesn't make sense, you know what I'm saying? So let's just move on to the next guy, because Anton Walker, I'm sorry, but I don't know how you're gonna blow that much money. So Ray Richardson is the next player on this list, and when you think of him, within 2 years of him being in NBA, he was already an emerging star, and everyone thought he was going to be the next big player in the NBA, and the Knicks had a great chance, and all was going good until Ray Richardson tested positive for cocaine, not once, not twice, 3 times, becoming the first NBA player to get banned under the NBA's anti-drug program, which was established in September 1983. This guy just got caught onto drugs, I guess. The fame got to him, I guess, or something like that. And that's pretty much it. Pretty much cocaine got into him. That's when cocaine was like getting big in the 1980s, and he was the one using it, which is not a good idea at all, because if you're an NBA player, you shouldn't be doing any drugs. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. He ended up getting banned from the NBA, and he no longer, he was done after that. He was a great promising player, but this guy did cocaine. Why do you have to go out and ruin your career like that? Let's just move on to the next one. So the next player on the list is Jamal Mashburn, but he didn't really do much. So we're gonna just move on to the next one, because he was like some of the only players on this list that didn't do a lot of bad things during the NBA career. So let's just move on to the next one. So Alvin Hayes didn't have a lot of bad controversy to his name, but he was named probably one of the most undeserving like MVP winners of all time. I mean, it was between him and Moses Malone, and Alvin Hayes did end up winning it, which pretty much sucked, but I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? It's just MVP, so it's not like he went out and did drugs or something, or got banned for the league for pulling a gun on his teammate. So he's not that bad of a player, obviously. He's not that bad, like a bad thing. Let's just move on to the next one. Kiki Vandeweghe, or however you want to say his last name, is also another one on this list that didn't do much throughout his career that was like considered controversial. So we're gonna just go by him, and we're gonna go to the next player on the list. Let's go. So moving on to the next player on this list is Grant Hill, but he didn't do much either. It wasn't a huge big deal, but he did have a little bit of like drama and beef with Jalen Rose, and it was like controversy and all that back then, but it wasn't that bad, as bad as some others on this list. So I'm just gonna not talk about it that much, not go into depth a lot, and just move on to the next one. So the next player on this list is Bernard King. This guy, his mom used to abuse him if he didn't go to church and all of that. He got into like a bunch of arguments with cops, and the cops abused him because of his skin color, which is not right. But in 1994, King was arrested for allegedly choking a woman while he was intoxicated. 10 years later, he was arrested on 4 counts of spousal abuse. So he beat his wife. I guess if you think about it, it's kind of his mom's fault, because his mom beat him. It's not 100% his mom's fault, but his mom influenced the decisions that he made. So that's what I wanted to say. Like, I kind of feel bad for him, because he had a lot of problems with like drinking and loneliness, but he was a great player, hands down, one of the best players. This guy was insane when he played. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's just move on to the next one. So the next 2 players on this list, Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain, don't have a lot of drama between them, so I'm not going to really talk about their controversial stories, because they don't have much. They have like some fights with players, but that's not that big of a deal. So I'll just move on to the next one, which is Kobe beating Bryant, the GOAT, man. Let's go. Even though he is the GOAT, he did have a couple things that was not the best things, but that weren't the best things in his case. But let's just check them out. So basically, Kobe Bryant, people were saying Kobe Bryant like sexually assaulted a girl in 2003 at some hotel or something like that. Now, I mean, that's pretty weird, because Kobe doesn't seem like the type of guy to do that. Maybe he got intoxicated one night and ended up doing it, but I mean, he's still together with his wife right now, and it's all good. That's kind of controversial, because a lot of people did get like, not mad at him, I would say, but like weirded out by him for doing that, because he just doesn't seem like the type of guy to do something that bad. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's all the players on the list. We've covered every single one of them. And basically not all the players on this list did controversial things, but most of them did. And so it's kind of weird that 2K put most of these players which have done controversial things, or controversial things have happened to them, on this list to give you a free card. Like, is it coincidental, or is it on purpose that 2K did this to us? I don't know, man. I just thought it was a cool thing to talk about, because I mean, I noticed this when searching up Latrell Sprewell. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you liked the video. Make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and see if we can hit 5 likes. And I'm trying to hit 20 subscribers by the end of this month, so please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. It's Logic Looks, and I'm out. Peace.